What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Equation of Life podcast. My name is Aryan.
My name is Mikhail.
My name is Karan.
And my name is Shlo.
And welcome back to yet another Equation Life video. We are here. Podcast.
Episode.
I love how Shluk
everything.
was
Fantastic.
I love how Shluk was really excited there. I think
Dude, you should be excited in who you are as a person.
Shlok's, by the way, Shlok's impressions are great, but he cannot do them on the podcast.
I think
Because this is a serious place.
All racial slurs.
Oh my god! Why? Why?
Okay.
Why? They told me.
We're gonna have
Oh
to.
my god! I think we're gonna have
We're gonna have to restart. We're gonna have to restart it. Okay. Okay. Cut and
Okay.
3, 2, 1. We should keep the same energy, but 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Equation of Life podcast. My name is Aryan.
Every time you do that, I get reminded of Jeff Cavalier. What's up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, athletenext.com. Sorry, my name is Mikhail.
My name is Karan.
My name is Shlo.
And welcome to yet
He was
another.
excited again.
He was
Right,
excited.
Anyway, so
Welcome to another Equation of Life video. Today we're going to be doing episode podcast.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. But today's video is
And
going.
watching.
Today's video is going to be a little bit of a, I won't say debate, maybe a debate conversation on.
It's one of them ones where we
Yeah.
talk in it.
Yeah, we just kind of talk, we vibe.
Yeah.
So, another variety in the plethora of the types of episodes that we have.
Yeah, we're basically going to be talking about social media, phones, social media mainly.
Social media, the
yeah.
pros and cons. So,
Yeah.
do the pros of social media outweigh the cons? Isn't that right, Mr. Producer?
Unfortunately, but yes, go ahead.
Thank you, producer.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that was
All right. Anyway, so it's nice to see who's on your team and who's not. So, do the pros of social media outweigh the cons of social media? First of all,
That's a very hard one,
that
actually.
is
it is. I
It's
think
charged.
it would be well placed to start with maybe some pros that social media presents, maybe some cons that social media presents, and I'm sure as we go on through it, we'll think of more as one does naturally.
Should we list what the.
Also, we should specify like the area we're talking about of social media is like self-help.
Not necessarily. I think
Just in general.
just in general.
Because if we're talking. Because
Because social media can provide inspiration in many different realms of your life.
And
Like
social media has. Because the thing is, right? Not everyone's into self help. I think if
Yeah.
we talk about social media in general, we'll be trying to target more people.
social
And
media is kind of whack.
it is.
It's think of it, right? What is it on the surface of it? You're essentially what social media is a highlight reel of your life, where you're taking moments that span maybe 10-15% of your life, and you're putting them up. And you're not just putting those 10-15 up, you're putting like the top 1% of those 10-15% moments. So when it comes down to it, especially for younger impressionable
Mhm.
kids,
Yeah.
I know in the fitness industry as well, it's a huge thing. Natty or not, Liver King just got
Oh,
Yeah.
all of these things, right? First of all, if anyone looked at Liver King and thought he was Natty,
What are you doing?
you need
Like,
an eye exam.
No,
Yeah.
but at the same
Right?
time, we're talking about the young children that are mainly the ones that
Yeah.
are being influenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And it works for girls too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of them aren't Natty, and they've got like enhancements and stuff,
Mhm.
and it's just sad.
Yeah, body image is just another thing that both guys and girls
Facts,
struggle
but
with.
I don't think we can sit here and just shit on social media.
Yeah.
No.
There are a bunch of positives, but like you were talking about, it shows like that 1% of like happiness, good times. Think about the FIFA, like the World Cup. We saw Messi in his highest points, but in social media, we saw it from the ground point of view. We saw
We did.
pictures, cameras,
Yeah.
views of the man we saw as a child rise to his highest points, and all of us were happy from that.
So it basically projects happiness, projects excitement, it projects the positive emotions that we then
It
feel.
amplifies
But
those
It amplifies.
positives.
it promotes false happiness.
It can.
Because think about it.
Okay.
You're chasing cloud, isn't it? Like we have an advent of the fake entrepreneurs, fake millionaires who go to like recording studios with their jets or those fake jets. Or
Mhm.
they put a picture next to a Lamborghini or whatever, and then they're using it to promote something that they're selling, right?
Yeah.
Where someone who's a little bit more gullible will buy into it, pun intended, and then like
Be disappointed.
yeah, not just disappointed. Oftentimes you end up spending a lot of money.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
I have to say, because the area of fitness is one that as I know, especially you, we've like it takes a long time to learn into it. It takes a long, long time, and I've spent a lot of my years trying to figure out things, trying to learn things, and I can't explain the amount of times that I've learned something or kind of gone into a rabbit hole about something fitness related that might not actually be true, but just because one guy who seems like they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about who's right, it's who seems right. too.
Exactly.
You know what else it is I think it makes people entitled.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't agree with you, you are wrong. There's no concept of facts anymore. And
Yeah.
this is a very touchy topic, but a lot of what's going on in the woke leftist community today, you're walking backwards as a society, right? It's sad to see.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if anybody tries to fight it or, talk about it, stand up against it, then you're silenced.
You're canceled, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Cancel.
That
The-
that word
Twitter
that
is
cancel culture is
The
a heavy subject.
area of conversation has gone, and I think that the area, did I say area?
Yeah,
The
era.
era of conversation, I think, is gone.
I think
Oh, I thought you were talking about in this.
No,
segment.
no, no. The era of
the
conversation.
era
is
of
gone.
conversation and multiplicity almost.
Yeah.
Having opinions.
Being opinion.
Yo, opinions are being valued more than facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is actually very true. When people are now looking for fact checkers, they're not looking for like good fact checkers. They're looking for ones that agree with them, and they're like, I cite this person. I cite
Yo,
this
what
person.
else
It's the confirmation bias.
Mhm.
Facts.
Exactly.
And it's the fact that we now have short form media. I think that's the worst part.
That is literally taking snippets of
Bro,
content.
Think about it. If you have a 10-minute long YouTube video, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I'm comparing, let's say I was making cake and I burnt it, right? And I said, well, the white is better than the black, right? And someone can then go in, take that little bit where I was talking about cake, because I burnt cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, racist.
And again, this is a
Which-
bit of an exaggeration, but the point
but you
stands.
see it happen.
It does. It
And-
happens. It
yeah,
happens.
like for example, you can look at any short form content and you're just seeing a snippet. Most people nowadays, I can guarantee you, people who have seen most TikToks, Reels, whatever you want to call it, or YouTube Shorts, mostly a good chunk of them probably haven't even seen the original video.
Yo, yeah. And then, so you can control what you want other people to perceive of somebody else. And as controversial as it is, I think Andrew Tate is a prime example of this. And
Mhm.
a lot of what he says is taken out of concept
Yeah.
or context. And it's not just him. It's a lot of other people as well. They'll be making valid points.
Yeah.
But they'll say one thing that people don't agree with, and you take it, you blow it out of proportion, and cancel culture kicks in, which is so pathetic. First of all, like
Yeah.
how unsure, like bunch of weaklings, bro.
Yeah, but I think we've really covered a heavy sort of con here for social media, but sort of shifting back to one of the more positive sides of social media, I think with these apps, especially with Reddit, for example, I mean, would you call that a social
Wait,
media?
Is Reddit social media?
I was actually gonna ask in the beginning
Is Reddit social
because
media?
I was gonna
would
ask
say
in the
yeah.
beginning. I was like, maybe we should define what social media platforms we're talking about.
I would for social media for Reddit, I would say yes, but please actually define it.
I was gonna be like, I was thinking like, for example, like Instagram, Snapchat, well, not really Snapchat.
Like your
Snapchat.
conventional
Snapchat. So
100%
Instagram, Snapchat,
Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook,
Basically
Twitter.
anything involved in meta, right?
Yeah, anything involving Meta, anything
What about
involving
WhatsApp?
TikTok as well.
what?
TikTok,
Okay,
definitely.
I think it's this.
TikTok.
I think it's anything that you can put out some form of content with.
WhatsApp
Works. What?
WhatsApp status. Hey, they've got status now. They've got stories on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
WhatsApp is actually a dangerous area. Like,
You've got stories on WhatsApp.
Really?
no,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
people do
What?
on
Yeah.
that is that like they share information in small bubbles, and they make people think they're real. Like, I personally have some experience with this with family. That like back in India, they don't know what's happening out in the world because they don't have TVs, but they have their phones. They got some reception, and they're getting all these concentrated stories, getting only one political angle, not understanding anything
Mhm.
else. So they think this is just the only true thing. And so like when you can't have like that wide range of area or like
That dynamic range.
So
Yeah.
I think especially I think then basically social media is anywhere where you can push out some form of content to which multiple viewers can see it. Multiple
Mhm.
viewers, multiple people
I
can
would say
experience and view.
visual content.
Visual content.
But then Reddit doesn't count. Though.
Well,
No,
I think
visual,
because
you put
no,
it in.
visual. I think visual or things you can read. Because Twitter, a lot of Twitter is just like tweets, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you can obviously put photos and videos and whatnot.
You
Yeah.
know what's the sad thing about all this? Twitter's first and best use, why it blew up, was after earthquake in San Francisco. There was thousands of tweets sending on the news. It was the first place where it was actually exposed to a bunch of people. So a bunch of people got the information of getting like telling their loved ones, "Hey, are you okay?" Contacting.
There you go.
situations.
Good pro of
Yeah.
social media.
Pros.
And
Pro of social
Pro social
media.
media.
Yeah, and WhatsApp was like it was the best way to connect with family. Like it used to be so expensive to make international.
Yeah,
calls and everything.
international
Yeah.
phone
WhatsApp
calls.
made it affordable. Like my dad was barely able to talk to family back in the day. Now,
I
This is
remember
happening here.
back in the day, anytime my because here we had, I don't know if you remember Vonage phones. I don't know.
Yes.
Vonage.
Yes,
Yeah, the landlines, the Vonage
Yeah,
landline
have
phones.
that.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, because we would have like free long distance calls for something, and my relatives in India would call us, and they'd call my dad and be like, "Hey, call me back. Take up the
Or they leave you a missed call.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
And
then
then-
like call me back because
Yeah.
you get the free stuff.
yeah." And then we'd call them. Now we don't have to. WhatsApp call. I don't remember the last time I've ever used a landline phone. I don't even think my family owns one
I
anymore.
think there's definitely pros and cons to social media.
Yeah.
I think it's up to you to educate yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think
it's a really tough area because a lot of what you're reading, a lot of what you're viewing is what you're supposed to be viewing according to the Matrix. You know?
yeah.
Mhm.
Like our thoughts are so influenced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I think as I wanted to go back to my other point, with social media, we've had the ability to create communities
We have.
within whatever realm you want to look at. Cuisine, physical fitness,
Mhm.
anything, you name it. You have these small communities of, different demographics.
Mhm.
And I think that's one thing that's really brought people together, like subreddits. You have subreddits for positive
Subreddits.
things. Like anything, you name it, you have a subreddit, and there's a community of people.
Who are
And those-
willing to talk about things.
And then
That's
like
like-
there's just wholesome moments that are shared on the internet, and people sometimes overlook those wholesome moments. Like I again, going back to shorts and reels, like people take wholesome stories that are written on Reddit and
Oh,
sort
there's
of
this guy on YouTube Shorts. He fixes phones. and-
That guy.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
that
yes,
too.
yes. Isn't he like he's the fix it repair guy or something like that?
I think
I
it's
fix it
something
or something like
yeah,
that.
Fix It.
Yeah, I
fix
fix
it,
it.
yeah.
If your local place can't, we will.
Yeah. I remember.
And, like,
Exactly.
sometimes people will come in and then like they won't be able to afford it or something.
And you'll give it to
Oh,
them
yeah,
for
I
free.
got you.
Yeah.
exactly.
And social media allows me to do that. And like for me personally, because of shorts and those stuff, I was able to discover David Goggins. I was
Yeah.
able to discover
Yeah.
Dr. Huberman. It's like that.
No, that is
Exposed
true.
already.
Like we live in the age of information. I think, as always, though, it needs to be treated with caution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
go on, yes, man.
that goes to like another point I feel is like how much power do you think social media influencers like those like highlight influencers themselves hold in this conversation?
See, here's
Way too much.
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Bro, hold on. Just in terms of Liver King alone,
Yeah.
this man was raking in like millions a month selling his supplements.
The liver supplements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bro, and yeah, enough to
Dude,
enough to spend what?
my-
15,000 on PEDs.
Yeah.
My brother and I were coming back from the gym, and I've been on this phase of watching old podcasts, specifically Impulsive.
Mhm.
And I was watching the Liver King episode with my brother in the car, and we just started talking about how this man had this whole website, and in that podcast, he was talking about the supplements. If you can't eat liver, have the supplements. And then we were connecting because this was after the fact of the whole scandal with Liver King, and we were going back and being like, "Damn, back in the day, I would have listened to this."
No,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it stems out from the realm of fitness as well into anything. You think of these courses that people are selling, dropshipping courses.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah.
Agency, SMMA,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Everything.
Yeah.
They make videos. Oh, I did this. You don't need to work, and they're playing into people. They're playing into ethos, right?
Mhm.
Like they're
It's-
playing on people's feelings and people's feelings are very mutable at the
They're
end of the day.
so easy, bro. We have
Human
we
beings are so malleable.
yeah. Like
It's crazy.
here's the thing, and I won't go too much into it because it's a little bit from the book that I'm going to be talking about in a different episode. But in the book, they were talking about how in today's age, we have a lot of these first world problems, right? Which stem from so back in the day we would have materialistic crises, financial crises, right? Now our things aren't so much materialistic or financial.
You use the wrong pronouns, and now I'm offended, and that is like.
It's the thing is it's become existential.
Existential, and
Because of how mutable our feelings are, right?
What does mutable mean?
Change how
Like
easy
it's-
is to influence, how easy it is
Yeah.
to change, like mutations,
and
right?
then there's also the
Oh,
Yeah,
like
Sorry,
existential,
sorry.
and then I'd say ideological
like-
crisis
Yeah,
too.
yeah. yeah.
So-
Because go for it. Go for
yeah,
it.
like I was just gonna say existential, and then there's the ideological crisis
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we are so easy. So here's the thing, right? On social media, you said we see the top 10 or 15% of someone's life.
Bro, it's not just that, right? Like everything you see, they don't look like that.
They don't look like that.
Like,
But
I feel like that all the
if
time.
we are having a bad day, we have now within 5 minutes we can see 350 posts about people having the best day of their life, people looking the best they've ever looked like. But
that is such a
and that is going to
sword.
make us feel worse.
That's a double-edged sword.
However, I still believe that will make you feel worse if you let it make you.
That is
Exactly.
true.
If
That's
you're smart enough to realize what social media is, I think it would be a very, very powerful tool.
Mhm.
And I've said this so many times. It's fruitless. It's frugal to avoid or to try and avoid the power that social media
Mhm.
has. The only issue is what side of social media you're consuming.
I think
Yeah.
that's also why it's very important to be careful and like research who you follow. Like be very particular. Like there's a guy, a bodybuilder named Noel.
Oh, Daddy Noel.
Daddy Noel is like, this man is the most lovely man in the world. He's nicest and
He's honest.
He's honest.
He's honest.
He's honest.
Is like the best policy, and he lives it through his whole life. At the end of, I shared this on the WhatsApp group.
Mm.
At the end of the year, he didn't meet his goal, but he was like what he was grateful for, even though he didn't meet his goal. He's like, even though I didn't meet it, I'm going to still pursue
Yeah.
it and make sure to never give
No,
up.
but there's loads of people like that.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's about
they
who
don't
you
blow
find.
up.
They don't blow up.
And that's why be careful on who you follow.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think research and what's the word I'm looking for? Research and be cautious.
Yeah, and I go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I think research and caution are really important. And just again, going back to the fitness thing and the quote unquote dark side of social media, a lot of influencers are actually taking advantage of this whole transparency thing a lot more and actually even making that a negative thing. Like people are showing how their Instagram photos look like and the way they have a pump and they have a certain lighting. And they're showing how they look on a regular basis without a pump when they're not flexed, right? And they're trying to take advantage of that transparency. And I think
I don't think they're trying to.
No,
There's
there-
a great
there-
example of taking advantage of this transparency.
go ahead.
Oh,
videos.
yeah.
Apology videos
Like
are the
lyric-
epitome of this.
Apology videos are just okay. Like, if we're referring to the apology video that we're referring to here, it wasn't an apology video. It was just 3 sentences where he said, "I lied, I'm sorry," and then just the rest of the
No,
same
it's-
bullshit that
Yeah.
he
And
did.
no, it's not just the Liver King. There has been many apology videos. I'll give you an
No,
example.
but what I agree with you there, but I don't think that part is taking advantage of it. The
It's
people
it's
who-
I wouldn't say
the
taking
people who
advantage
take-
of it is the
when
thing.
you're taking those pictures, when you're showing what you look like, this is what I look like with a pump, this is what I don't look like with a pump. That's genuine content that's being put out.
Yeah, I think that's not what I meant to say. I think the wording that I used there wasn't appropriate to describe that. I think it's not really being taken advantage of, but it's the fact that it's becoming increasingly prominent, and there is the possibility for it to have some sort of
Okay, well, when
There's
to be
encouragement.
leveraged in the wrong way.
There's
yeah,
like-
and there
like-
should be encouragement.
No. Is there during the transparency? Like I've seen this before, where there's a plastic surgeon that actually got fired for this, where she showed videos of, oh, this is my clients before and this is my client afterwards. But she's like, you guys should take this because of like how cool this is.
No,
This
but
is like-
that's different though. That's
Yeah.
not what he was talking about.
Yeah,
We're talking about
Yeah.
legitimate videos. That's
Yeah.
a form of marketing. That's not a transparency video.
exactly.
That's a marketing video.
What I mean by
But you're showing before and after.
No, it's just
But most of the time when you're doing like those pump pictures, they're like the message there is don't believe everything you see on social media because this is what it looked like, and I think that needs to be encouraged. More
that should be
creators
encouraged.
need to come out and be like, hey, listen, this is what I look like at my optimal with the best settings, right?
Yeah.
Have the highest graphics or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
like
120 FPS, but that needs to be.
Yeah, that should be.
Like
Yeah.
Matt does fitness as a YouTuber.
Yeah, Matt
who
does
has
fitness.
like amazing genetics.
Yeah.
And he made a video like that where he showed the transformation just 10 minutes from going from not having a pump to having a pump and then being in like bad lighting to good lighting. And the underlying message there was don't believe everything you see on social media.
Yeah.
That's not how I look.
Yeah.
But I think that needs to be pushed more.
yeah.
Okay, what I'm saying is kind of different. That it's not like having the pump or lighting. It's the type of people that show that me taking it's malicious marketing.
Like
of
clickbait,
trying to-
like
no,
clickbait
I-
titles.
No, it's not just clickbait
Okay.
titles. It's like saying that I did get plastic surgery, but you guys should also because it looks like
That's not a transparency video. That's a marketing video. There's a difference between the two.
I don't know. It's for me the biggest example was Logan Paul's impulsive the scam for CryptoZoo. He was like, guys, I worked on this for such a long time. I've given you this much, and he is marketing there.
That's
trying
basically
to put it as a transparent.
it's a manipulation tactic.
Yes, it's a
He's
manipulation.
basically I think what you're talking about is when big creators, they know they have a huge following and they know that this following is basically within their grasp.
They're
So
influenced.
they're
They're easily
influenced.
influenced.
So it's when they abuse that and then they manipulate them for their betterment. So I think basically what we need is we need creators, and we should learn, we should research, we should find the creators who are honest, because that's where the pros of social media
I
are.
can name you a few right now. Wait, what industry are you looking for?
Well, let's do
Realistically
Simon are
speaking,
good.
Realistically speaking, the fitness industry is the easiest one
Yeah.
to do. If someone looks like a superhero, go follow him.
Yeah.
Right? Odds are he's on steroids.
Yeah.
But if you want like
More
honest
plates, more
fitness-
dates.
No, honest
Yeah.
fitness YouTubers,
Yeah.
I think more plates, more dates.
Yeah.
Will Tennyson's
Will great.
Yeah.
Jesse James
Yeah.
West.
Jesse
Yes.
James West is really good.
Right? So there are content creators
Yeah.
out there, and there are relatively big content
Yeah.
creators.
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunately, clout rules everything around
Yeah.
you.
And I think people are also, especially with the, fitness industry, this whole natty or not debate has, become so mainstream that people who aren't even in the industry are actually weighing in on this debate and actually influencing it from being an outsider.
You know what's so funny?
Yeah.
Today I was showing someone a progress picture of mine from April to December, which was April, like 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, Trend? And I was like, I wish, bro. Like, I wouldn't look like this if I was on Trend. I would look much better. Right? I can't say. I'm not going to do it. But no, it was really funny. I thought it was just a joke.
Yeah.
It was funny that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy's not really like involved with fitness, but with all of this living.
We all know what that is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what that is.
Everyone knows what PEDs are.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, he didn't say trend. He said PEDs.
PEDs.
Everyone know what HGH does. Everyone knows.
SARM.
Yeah, everyone knows what these things are, and I think MDMA.
Yeah.
I think
there's pre-workouts you can get that have MDMA in it.
I
You
wouldn't
can
be
get
surprised.
Tren on Amazon.
Bro, you can get
No.
No.
we don't talk about that.
No, I didn't try it, but you cannot import those substances into Canada.
Oh, you can.
Alright, so
Not in Canada, yeah.
so that
In the states, it's a little bit more relaxed. But in Canada, it's I know because Canadian laws are so tough. Like More Plates, More Dates has a pre-workout called Gorilla Mode,
Mhm.
and they have a bunch of different formulas, and some of those formulas do not ship to Canada.
Really?
Because of what they have MDMA in there.
No, they don't have MDMA in there. I don't know what the reason is.
Mhm.
But
it doesn't mean
But
But the
Okay,
regulations just
okay.
aren't meeting
But,
Canadian
like-
standards.
But that doesn't mean that you can't get it easily, right?
You probably.
Now, what do you guys think of the current way social media moderation is going to attach to this?
bullshit.
And
Oh.
no, but not only that, their way, the moderation also is increasing like promotion of items, not from the influencers, but like if you check on Instagram, there's a shopping.
There's a
Oh,
shop.
Yeah, there's a
now.
shop
There
button
are
now.
more moderations.
Bro.
Like, so what do you guys think?
Bro, if Have you ever seen an OnlyFans creator's Twitter profile?
Yeah, Twitter
No
profile.
comment.
It's just
That
a fake
is
version of their thing. Like, why are you pushing that on Twitter, right? And then you're banning people for saying things.
that is the thing.
Yeah.
Our moderation, the social media moderation, is hitting it completely wrong. We are hitting it to the point.
Well, you have to look at what's in it for the moderators. They're pushing things that are going to make them money.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Right?
obviously.
Unfortunately, more people are drawn
But-
to those things
Dopamine
as opposed
hits.
to learning about other things.
For the regular people, it's so harmful. It is the worst
So
thing in the world.
harmful.
So harmful. Like we are to the it's giving people easy access to basically pornography, right?
Yo, the average 14 or 15-year-old now can see more naked women than the most powerful kings could, like a few centuries ago.
Yeah.
That's a,
Yeah.
It's a Jordan Peterson quote.
Yeah.
And that is
Powerful.
Very dangerous.
It's powerfully
Very
dangerous.
Very dangerous.
because what you're doing there, you're dope. Because why do people watch porn? Right? Because dopamine.
Dopamine, the quick rush.
Yeah.
The quick rush. And what happens is when you're put into a situation where you're no longer watching two people and you're in the situation where you have to, and later on down the
Mhm.
road, it's not going well. It's not looking good, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know?
it's that the dopamine threshold is just you're not hitting that threshold
Yeah,
because I was
that's the
watching
thing.
a video on this.
And I think
We're-
the thing, you need more and more
You
stimulation.
exactly,
That's
and
why
it's like
people
it
go
literally
on-
because you're watching porn and it doesn't like when you're in that situation in
Mhm.
real life, you aren't able to actually have a proper sort
Yeah.
of reaction to it
You
because
want more and more and
Yeah.
more.
There's something
Exactly.
called there's something called a dopamine detox, which I think is a very good podcast episode for later on.
I
yes,
actually did one of
Yeah.
those. I think you remember. I did
Yeah,
one of those
yes.
yeah.
end of last year. I was planning on doing another one.
I think we should have a
Maybe I'll do
video.
one for a week and then talk.
We should do a whole podcast on
Yeah.
it.
A week where we all do it.
Yeah. We should do a whole video on a dopamine detox where we experience it ourselves. We should all do that.
I think
Anyway, back to social
yeah,
media.
I think back to
But-
social media and the pros and
Where did you
cons.
get the idea for dopamine detox?
A video on social media.
But yeah,
But
think
I
the
think
thing
going
is
back-
that- sorry, go.
Going back to the pros and cons, I think Shlok, do you have anything?
For me, I find like when you found it like the dopamine detox, it was a short video. Or was it-
Short form video.
Short form videos, I feel have good powers. Like I see
Okay,
cooking
but
short form videos and all.
I agree. But the thing with short form videos is, I read a study
Mhm.
or a research thing that the average human attention span is less than that of a goldfish.
Yeah.
My brother, you ever seen a goldfish try and focus?
And do you know how many
They
jo-
eat too much and eat themselves to death.
and we literally make jokes about goldfish
Yeah.
having short attention
Yeah.
spans.
Yeah.
Where are the jokes
like,
about humans now at
That's
that
where
point?
short form media is horrible.
So
Yeah.
Like it's just worsening our attention span too.
I'm going to go to a little different route when I go to the short form stuff,
Sorry.
like to China. And
What?
China's not a country that we should be, but I'm going like the government. Sorry, CCP is not what it should be, but basically how the CCP controls social media there. Do you know what they're doing with their TikTok?
No.
They're promoting engineering, school, all this stuff because they can forcibly change the algorithm themselves. And they're promoting that to their kids
So
instead of like that. And they give them a small amount of comedy, but they never let them promote sex.
No,
or
that's
that.
true.
So-
that's
so it's
true.
like
This
social
happened the other
engineering.
day. So
Yeah.
I got rid of TikTok a couple of 6-7 months ago. The other day, I downloaded it again, but I didn't sign in, so there was no algorithm learning.
You basically are on a
you
clean
didn't have
slate.
any recommended
It
videos.
I didn't have any recommended videos because I was just signed in. I didn't select any topics. I skipped everything. The first 3 videos I saw were all thirst traps. I was like, "What is this app?"
So that
Right?
goes to the second question I have. Do you think the algorithms that social media like companies are making should be the government should take not control over them, but more barter or like regulation over
Wait, sorry, one more time.
the algorithm these social media companies are making? Do you think the government just should
No.
take some?
With the way that they are right now, no.
I don't think the government's going to do much better.
No,
The
no,
gov-
no, no,
eh,
not
they're
forced,
not.
not forced change, but forced because thirst traps is the first thing that came up, right? You know?
No, I'll tell you why. Because when you go onto TikTok, one of the permissions that it asks you for is it says allow app to track activity outside.
Mhm.
Right? And it tracks the activity, and now it knows that I am a 21-year-old male.
Mhm.
And it shows me what most 21-year-old males are watching on social media.
But that's one
Right?
thing.
I don't think the government is going to change that.
No, should they stop that? Like out of app activity, should governments try and actually stop banning? Because EU is thinking of
No,
actually
but
doing
you
it.
can't because the government is benefiting from it too.
Yeah,
It's the easiest way for you to gain information
on the
besides
government.
doing like remember we used to do consensuses, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Now when was the last time there was a consensus?
2012.
Why? Because of social media.
Yeah.
And
Because of power of technology.
the power of technology and data being one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful currency that we have
Bro, I've
nowadays.
seen big data management. Crazy how much stuff you can get. And people think that, oh, the microphone is listening to me.
Mhm.
It's true.
It
but
is.
That's not what makes it bad. It's not just listening to you.
It's learning.
Tracking where you go. Bro, I get into my car. I turn my car on. My phone realizes that it's
Car.
connected to the car.
Yeah,
And I get a recommendation 4 minutes to my
Yeah.
cousin's place.
exactly. I got a recommendation to come here.
Yes,
How did they know I was going to come here?
And it's literally, and it's, and the
Yeah.
thing is, it's the exact time.
This makes sense because you two come to like each other's house
Yeah.
Yeah,
often, right?
yeah,
For me, I only came to your house recently once. Yeah? Yesterday, I got into my car
yeah.
and it said 15 minutes to whatever, and I was like, "What the hell? That's where I'm going."
And for me,
Crazy.
it was I've seen when I'm driving or when I'm on my way to university, it's saying this much time to U of T.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck, man?
But like at the same time, it has where your car is
Yeah.
parked.
It has very
Exactly.
It has. It gives you how much time
There's
there.
pros and cons. right?
So I think here's the thing. Let's list what are the cons that we have said.
well, I don't think we can list the pros.
I don't think we can list the pros
No,
and
what is the main? What's the main thing with the con?
What's the main thing?
like the
about
big
it?
takeaway.
All of us give 1 point. That's a con. I think that would be like fair enough.
Mr. Producer, we've lost some lights.
Oh, that one in the back, because that
Mr.
one's
Producer, we've
motion.
lost some lights.
That's motion censored.
Mr. Producer,
Maybe.
we've lost some lights.
Lost all lights. What the?
Well, I think it's only our. So currently, we just have our softbox lights now.
That's pretty cool.
Wait, I can.
There we go. That's
Oh,
good.
lovely.
Oh,
It's
Brother,
motion.
these ones.
Those ones were always off.
Those were off the whole time.
Those ones were always
Oh.
off. Those ones were always
my
off.
bad. Yeah.
So now we can.
Sorry, going back.
Yeah.
I think it's too much.
I think-
listing the cons. This is a
Not
lot
the
of-
too
No,
much.
what
Let's not
about
list the cons.
the-
I think what we should do is we should say
Like the big idea, the big takeaways, the negatives, and the.
The
I-
biggest negative
how do-
is
okay, actually, no.
over-sexualization of
how
everything.
do we deal with the cons? How do we deal with these cons? Because
Self-regulation.
social media is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Never. How are we going to deal with the
Get on
cons?
the other side of social media.
How do we? How? But the thing is, how are the 14? Because we're 21. We have been through this. We know what we know today because we have lived the 14, the 15, the 16, the 17, the 18, so on.
Yeah.
How did the 14-year-olds? How are they going to?
How did
get
they
through
navigate
it?
the space?
The 14-year-olds. I have some family friends that are experiencing it.
Yo,
The impact on them is insane.
we talked about this in a very recent episode. Is how malleable younger kids are.
Yeah.
See, like
Mr.
21,
Producer,
22.
could you check that camera just one sec? Sorry.
Like Trent at like 13 years old and Sarms at 15 years old. Like my brother. That's not good.
No, not good at all.
Those body image issues are so detrimental.
And how do we fix it?